talking to our campers, okay? I am blind. At my side is my guide dog, who's about to retire, God bless her. I can see nothing in my left eye, and my right eye, my vision is 2600. Initially it was 0, it's 2600 now, and for those of you who are not ophthalmologists, okay, can everybody hear me? Okay. 2600 means that what you can see from 600 feet, I need to be 20 feet from it. So it's a challenge. And I have a pair of glasses around my neck. One of them is a microscope lens. The left lens is glass because obviously I can't see anything out of the eye. The right lens I use for some close reading, and to the grace of God and a wonderful ophthalmologist. So I wanted to share some things with you because we are blind. And as it says after my name on the program, we can. And I want to share with you how I did so you know that we can. I left high school and went to college and was a toad. I went to college and I had a blast. I had so much fun. College requires more work than fun. Remember that. You go to college, you work harder than you play. It's okay to play as long as you work harder than you play. I went to college for 2 years, and I'm ashamed to tell you that I flunked out. I went to work, my second job, I went to work for a man who became my mentor. He saw in me things I never saw in myself. If I had, I would have done well in college. And I worked for him for 20 years. About 11 years into my employment with him, I started to have a problem with my left eye, and took about 11 months. I lost all the sight in the eye. And I was given assurance by medical folks that I worked with that it was a fluke, it would never happen in my right eye. I moved on with my life. I continued working with this gentleman. When I started working for him, he owned one company, and when I left after 20 years, he had about 20 companies. And I was the chief financial officer of all of them and directed operations in the 8 large retail stores. I left because his family was growing up and coming into the company, and I went out on my own as a consultant. 10 months into my consulting career, which I was loving, I started to see the issues with my right eye that I remembered from the tragedy of losing the sight in my left eye. 3 days later, a week before Christmas, I was blind. I went on and worked with clients after I got somewhat used to the idea. And slowly but surely, as a consultant, when you help somebody with a broken business, when you fix it, you walk away. So my client base disappeared. And I had acquired a guide dog, which I highly recommend. And I found that people were hesitant to work with me because there was a guide dog at my side. And instead of fighting back and showing them that, you know, I was a better listener and did a better job, I started to feel sorry for myself. Big mistake. I felt sorry for myself because I had lost my sight. How could this happen to me? Prior to losing my sight, my daughter and I would go horseback riding, and one very cold Sunday afternoon, I was with her at the barn. It was her turn to ride the horse and my turn to wait. And I went out into the yard, and it was bitter cold, and I was in an open area that had 6 paddocks adjacent to it with horses in each of the paddocks. And I imagined that these horses would be standing there, and the coldness would cause their nostrils to flare, and that the heavy breath would be cloudy because of the cold, the steam. And while I was standing there, again, feeling very sorry for myself, big mistake, I heard this noise, and I thought, what is that crazy noise? What am I hearing? Nobody else was there. It wasn't horse noises. And I stepped into the center and I closed my eyes and I listened carefully for the first time since losing my sight. I mean, I really listened carefully. And it started to snow. And the noise that I was hearing was the snow. For the first time in my life, I realized that snow had a sound. And this winter, no big rush, this winter, when it starts to snow, you go outside and you close your eyes and you listen very carefully and you can hear the snow as the flakes crash into each other and fall to the ground. I stood in the middle of the open area, running from some paddock to paddock, yelling at the horses, I can hear the snow. Do you hear the snow? And of course they didn't answer me. They were probably saying in horse to each other, she's crazy. And that afternoon I went home with a new resolve. That if I can hear snow falling, I can do anything. And the next day, I applied for college. I applied at SUNY Empire State College, whose primary focus is learning adults. And the following September, I was enrolled as an incoming new student. My first session at the college was for orientation. And I sat there with my laptop and trying to become proficient with my adaptive software, all of which I had received from the New York State Commission for the Blind, which we'll talk about afterwards. And I stopped and I listened. Once again, listen, Desiree, listen carefully. And everybody was so excited. We're back in school. I'm in school for the first time in my life. And I turned to my mentor and I said to her, if I get this degree, can I take this degree to graduate school? Because I want to teach. I've been in management all of my life at work, and managers are teachers. You teach the people who work for you what to do and how to do it. Otherwise, you do it yourself. She said, I heard her put her pen down and I heard her take a deep breath. And she said to me, you can do anything you want to do as long as you want to badly enough. I graduated from Empire State College. I get to tell you this because I told you I flunked out at Siena with a 3.9 and a certificate from the Chancellor of the State University System of the state of New York for honors as a student, and used my degree to enroll at Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, RPI, for those of you who live around here, a highly regarded school. I went into the master's program, and it was hard work, but I played a little, but very little. And I graduated in 3 semesters with a master's degree in management. And I applied into the PhD program. For those of you who are a little bit younger, a PhD is a doctorate. It's called a terminal degree because there is nothing higher in any field. The doctoral degree is the highest degree you can earn. And you need it to be a teacher in a college. I graduated from RPI with my PhD in 3.5 years. The national average is 10. And mind you, I'm not up here bragging. I want you to know, as fellow blind people, that you can do anything you want if you want to work at it and really go for it. Anything. School and college and high school and grade school, it's all a measure for an employer about your learning. I graduated with honors, a 3.8, with my PhD from RPI, and I went to work as a member of the full-time faculty at Empire State College. What do they call that? Passing forward, passing back, giving forward?
Pay it forward.
Paying forward. I paid forward. I went to work. I've been there 10 years as a full-time faculty area. I supervise 40 course sections a year. There's no fluff. I absolutely love it. And the moral of the story is this: an education is critical, absolutely critical, that you present yourself with the highest degree of learning you can achieve. The state of New York, like all other states in this country, have programs. I don't know what they're called, but at New York State it's called the Commission for the Blind and Visually Handicapped, and they support it. They support it financially, they support it with training, they support it with equipment. Your folks, if you haven't spoken to a counselor at the Commission for the Blind, you gotta do it. You gotta do it. You'll notice I haven't referred to myself as having low vision. I've had people say to me, how did you lose your vision? My vision's perfect. It's my eyesight that's bad. Vision is you looking inside of yourself and looking out and around you and believing in what can be. We all know what eyesight is. Don't ever lose your vision. Don't ever let anyone take it away from you. It's not physical. It's psychological, emotional. It's you looking out into the world and saying, I can do this. I'm as proud as I can be to be the first, so I'm told, and I believe to date the only blind person to graduate from RPI with a PhD in business. It was hard work, but I loved every minute of it. And the achievement makes me proud of myself, and I've forgotten most often that I'm blind. Because I know that I can do anything I want to do if I want to badly enough. And so I'm calling on our campers here today. Listen to me carefully. I'm going to share my favorite poem with you. It's by Shel Silverstein. And for those of you who are a little bit younger, I'm going to give you an English lesson, a very quick English lesson first. The poem is filled with contractions. 2 words put together and abbreviated. Should not is shouldn't, could not is couldn't, would not is wouldn't, have not, that's not in there. Mustn't is must not put together, okay? So they're all negative terms, but you listen carefully to this poem. Shel Silverstein is the author. And it's called The Mustn'ts. Listen to the mustn'ts, child. Listen to the don'ts. Listen to the shouldn'ts, the couldn'ts, and the won'ts. Listen to the have-nots, child, then listen close to me. Campers, are you listening? Are you listening? Yes. Listen close to me. Anything can happen. Anything can be. Thank you. For parents in the audience, the New York State Commission for the